Hello and welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. Sports is gradually coming back. Yes, I am Ken Ochonogo. And I tell you, there is a smile on my face. Of course, when you smile, you also look at the consequences of that smile. Because when the way the figures are coming in, it is not that much. I don't know whether it is not that much encouraging because you see the figures rising. You see 500 new cases in a day. You see 600 new cases in a day. And you are saying, I thought we have passed this stage. Is there something we're not doing? But the truth also remains, like the experts say. I am not an expert in that regard, so I'm quoting what people are saying. So don't take it from me that this is what Ken Ochonogo said, that is a fact. They say, look, maybe because the more we are testing, you can't test 10 and get 30 people, testing positive. But because as we are widening, let's take Lagos State, for instance. Initially, we have just 1 or 2 testing centers. You go to the NCDC and they test you there at the isolation centers and find out if you are positive or not. But now that in all the local government areas, it is being done. So basically, the more you test, the more persons that are testing positive, which means it is already there, like they say, community to community transmission. So we just have to still be careful. We just have to still use our mask, the face mask. It is very, 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 very important. Social distance is important, especially when you are close to somebody else. I mean, these are the things that we're talking about. If you are alone, you don't need to you don't need to suffocate yourself. But where you need to transmit this, where it is not area in an enclosed place, just listen to the doctor's advice. I am not a doctor. I talk sports. But I do believe that, yes, these days, after listening, I think it was the former head of state also, Bachar, that said, with so much professors in his cabinet, he's now reasons like a professor. So by the time you start listening to medical doctors every day, you start sounding like one. But that doesn't make you one. You have to be certified. You have to go to school. You have to get the certificate. And people will say, yes, this man is an expert in what he's saying. So that safety measures, we should not in any way sweep it aside. We must maintain that momentum. We must not slack. We must not drop our guard and believe that we are past that stage, because we have not. On the tell us that we got into the peak, that we are flattening. I think flatten the curve. A lot of these lexicons that are just coming out, out of this. When you flatten the curve, it is we can know that yes, this is where we are. Let us still stay safe, still keep the distance, and see how we can overcome this. But like I said, the Secretary of the Government, and Boss Mustafa, did say yes that they will come back to sport, but for now, give us 1 month. Let us study the situation. Then we can make our pronouncement. We'll hear from him. But the Minister of Sport ordered this set up an 11-man committee led by Tony Okowa to say, okay, go on and look at if the National Sport Festival, which we suspended, can come back at the 28th edition of our own Olympics. And they've come out and said, yes, I think this is feasible. We can do it in October, between October and 25th October and 4th November. Basically, that's what they are saying. But then everything is dependent on what the government says. Because in that committee, also, it's not just sport. Health officials were there, the COVID-19 people were there. So a lot of, and then there are, I think, a representative from all the 6 geopolitical zones. So I think it was an all-inclusive committee, and they would have looked at all those parameters before they said, okay, fine, let us look at this date and see how it will be. But the ministry will have to tell us, okay, the committee has submitted, is it the date now? So for now, that we're looking at 25th October to 4th November. Of course, the La Liga return, Bundesliga is already back. So what are we talking about? We are looking at the 17th. Today is what? Today is 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. By Wednesday, it will be those who have outstanding matches, Aston Villa, Sheffield United, Manchester City, Arsenal, to take it at the APL. And after then, wow, we now enter in the last 11 matches or so of this season. So we'll come back to sports, other sporting events. Last week, we talked about canoeing. We discussed we interviewed the president of the Rowing, Sailing and Canoeing Association, Vice Admiral Festus Pobeni. And the man says, give me 7 days. 7 days, you can count them on your fingers. According to Ernest Okonkwo, 7 days. If you give me 7 days, I will put whatever they need in space. And now we're talking about October. We're talking about 3 months or so, 4 months. So we're talking about 7 days. In 7 days' time, he could do it. In 7 weeks, he can do it. And canoeing is not what we shall look at why canoeing is important in our developmental sports. Then we'll come back home and look at what we should be doing to pick up sport at all levels. We've been going through the sport policy. I do believe we'll have enough time to also go to some other sections that are very paramount, that are germane, to sports development. And boxing. A long time ago, there was a unification bout. Right now, we have the IBO, WBA, WBC, IBF, a lot of world champions. We should have one. And Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua says, we can get it done. Let us clash. 2 fights they've agreed to do. But then before then, they must surmount other obstacles, because there are people on the way before that. We shall have, if we have the time, soon, we shall also go somewhere and you listen to those voices of the kids 35 years ago who is now a man. But in the house, we have Yemi. Yemi is there. Yemi, you're welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Ken. Good afternoon, viewers. Good to be back on set again.
Yeah.
It's been interesting. Sports gradually coming back. That's live sport gradually coming back to the fray. But like you alluded to at the beginning of the program, we need to tread exactly softly and with a lot of caution. The danger is still very much out there. We heard yesterday that the second wave of coronavirus is starting even in far away Beijing.
And it is deadlier.
And it is deadlier. So the coronavirus is still real. If you really don't need to go out, don't go out.
Yeah.
Stay at home, stay safe. Adhere to the social distancing protocol and all the health guidelines as given by the NCDC, World Health Organization, and the Lagos State Ministry of Health. Your own safety, basically, as they say. You are responsible for it. It's in your hands.
It's in your hands.
Really.
Nobody will beg you to stay alive.
Nobody will beg you to stay alive. So for the sake of yourself and your family, you need to stay safe and adhere to all the health guidelines that have been given to us.
Yeah.
Yes, we're excited that sport is back. The Premiership will commence on the 17th, on Wednesday. La Liga, yes, again, is back. And yes, empty stadium. But the excitement never ceases to amaze us. We're happy. Lionel Messi picked up from where he stopped in March, getting that winner for Barcelona in that particular huge win yesterday. Real Madrid will have an opportunity of cutting that league later today. So for me, I'm excited to be here. We are all excited that sport is coming back gradually, but we must tread cautiously.
Okay, if we are free, let us see if we can get straight to Switzerland and in contact and get in contact with who we are interviewing today. Are we true? Yeah, yes. You can see him. We are true. Our live there is the young man who was there 35 years ago when we won the under 16, then to the Kodak under 16 World Championship. That was in 1985, right there in China. He scored that goal, the first goal in the final when we were playing against the Germans. And then we have Jonathan Akpoborie online. Hello, Joe.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine.
Okay, can we get the audio? Can we get the audio right? Because I can see his mouth moving. He's saying it's fine. Can we get the audio right? Let's see if we get it right so that we can move on with that particular interview. Joe is on the line. Jonathan left. He played for Julius Berger in Nigeria. Was in the super before he went after the under 16. Then he was in the under 20 in Chile. He was part of that team. He won bronze and silver for Nigeria at the AFCON. Top goal scorer in Germany. He played for a lot of clubs, and then at the Cup Winners' Cup, he was the goal scorer. Then joint top scorer for the UEFA Cup. Then playing for Stuttgart that they played in the finals. So we shall get this interview. All right, Joe, are we set? Are you hearing me now?
I can hear you very well.
Oh, beautiful! I think I can also hear you very well. Okay, Joe, just let us start from the very beginning. Are you in Germany? I think we're in Switzerland. Are you in Germany or Switzerland?
I am in Germany today. I was in Switzerland when I was talking to you yesterday, but I was on my way here because of the Bundesliga games. I just wanted to watch maybe one or two things in the Bundesliga yesterday.
All right, that is beautiful. Okay, let's start. I want to capture your mind back just 35 years ago. You scored that goal, the first goal in the final against the Germans. I know that team, probably that is why you went to play in Germany. But I'm not the soothsayer, but I just want to ask you, how did you feel that night? The young boys from Nigeria are doing that at the final and then playing 10 against 11, if I can remember very well.
Yes, it was fantastic. I still remember it like yesterday because we didn't go to the tournament as favorites, but from we planned from game to game, not really putting a goal in front of us, saying we want to qualify from the group stages onto the semi-final or the final. We never planned like that. Me as a kid from Ajegule, it was a plan for me to say, okay, this is the first time I'll be leaving Nigeria. This is the first time I'll be on a plane flying outside Nigeria. That was my first goal. After getting that first goal, the next was, okay, I wanted to play against a European or maybe somebody that was outside Africa. Then after that goal was finished, it was like in the semi-final, we would not want to lose to another African country, which was Guinea. Then in the final, we said we will just give our best. We will give our best, and we do not want to lose in front of everybody. Yeah. So that was actually what propelled us in the final.
Okay, Sebastian Broderick was the coach then. And then Christian Chukwu, chairman himself, was part. The Chukwu's presence as a former captain of national team that you growing up playing, did it inspire you in any way that this man was a part of the team?
Oh yes, because even in training, in training when the very first time I trained with the team in Lagos, Chukwu was actually the one telling me, okay, this is exactly what you are doing correctly, because him as a defender, he had played against so many strikers. So the things that I was doing in training then, he would be the one to say, oh, Johnny, that is really, really nice. And, for somebody who at that time, who had played in numerous games for Nigeria, and he is the one trying to direct and tell you what to do on the field, it was fantastic for me.
Fantastic. Okay, after then you guys went to Chile. A lot of hope was on Chile, but you guys did not live up to expectation. We thought we were going to massacre Brazil. It wasn't because you played Brazil in the first match. What really happened in Chile? That team was so good, Jonathan. What happened?
There were so many issues. First, I keep telling people that look, today Eti Messi is one of my very good friends. I have no doubt about it. But we have to call a spade a spade. That is one of the things that we have to learn in Nigeria, to see a spade and call it a spade in football. Eti Messi, like I said, is a very good friend of mine, but the problem of bringing Etim back into the team after we've actually worked around to solve the problem that he was solving for us without him. But when he came back into the team, there was a lot of chaos, and he actually destroyed the confidence of the team in Chile at that time. The problem, they shouldn't have allowed the team to come back to Lagos from Nairobi, where we were in training camp. When we came back, the late Udemezue was almost crying, telling the team that look, they've spoiled his work, and it actually happened the way he said it.
Can you give us a few of your teammates in that particular? Just enliven us some of if you can remember your teammates in that Chile '87 team.
We had likes of Peter Nieketin, Ladi Babalola, Adeolu Adekola. We had Iponsa Omorige, Nosao Sadolo, the late John Ene Okon. Who do we have again? Oh,
how many of you transited from 85?
Was there, yes.
How many of you can you remember how many transited from 85 to 87?
It was just Lucky Agbons, Victor Igbinoba, Unduka Ugbadi, and me.
All right. Okay. So now we are moving now. Gradually, you went to the US and played college football. How did that go? How did it go?
Oh, it was fantastic. I had the ball at Brooklyn College. It was fantastic. In fact, sometimes some of the games when I remember when I'm reminded of some of the games that we played. There was this one we played against against the New York NYC, and they were champions of New York at that time, and we had seven Nigerian ex internationals then that played for the under 20 at one level or the other, like Michael Dominic, for example, Akiloton, um, and all of these players. We were in the same team playing against NYU. We In the first 15 minutes we were already 4 goals up, and and I remember our coach, who later became the national team coach of the US, then actually was telling us not to score a goal again because we were just moving the ball around. In America, football was not really their
Popular.
thing at that time,
Yeah.
and we were way ahead of them. So it was very funny, but we had fun. We actually kept us very fit, and like I said, it was really interesting.
Okay, okay. But before we go back to football, I just want to talk a little bit because I know that very first day you were in your room and then you just came back from the US and then you were feeling. I don't know why you would have loved to play music because you were have those musical gadgets and you were just playing with them and stuff like that. You were about 18, 19 then or so. Yeah.
Yes, but you see, usually I had no I had no I had no gift in music at all, and
Okay.
I am still that kind of a shy person who can only play football in front of a lot of people.
All
I
right.
can't do any because I'm shy. I can't do any other thing apart from football. As I'm talking to you live now, it will be very difficult for me to actually stand in front of a lot of people and start talking to them. I can't do that. But to play football, I can play football in front of a million people. It
People.
would
All
not.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay, and we are getting there. And then okay, you finally got back to Germany. Do you remember the young kid who scored that fantastic goal at the finals against the Wizards of this world? How did you find it starting? You didn't start from the top. You started from Sabakra and whatever, but you started from the lower division.
Saarbrücken,
It's
FC
broken, yeah,
Saarbrücken.
yeah.
Saarbrücken was a second division club then, and Anthony Yeboah was the biggest African star then in the Bundesliga at that time. And when he was leaving Saarbrücken to Eintracht Frankfurt, they now offered me a trial. I went to the trial, and I was then accepted in place of Yeboah. So as he left, I now replaced him at Saarbrücken. It was very difficult from the beginning because playing football, a lot of people say um, it's a universal game, but you have to learn the local traditions of every team in any country that you're going to, because that will be the background that actually propels you to start performing very well for them. Because if you cannot speak the language, for example, you are in big trouble. I didn't do that when I was at Saarbrücken. It was I would speak English with some people, and I thought it was okay. But when I now left Saarbrücken to my next team, everybody in that next team, which was Karl Zeiss Jena, they couldn't speak English because they were in the eastern part of Germany. So it was for me to either learn how to speak the Russian language
Yes,
or German.
yeah.
So I had to pick German. That was actually what now encouraged me to speak German. So I started speaking German, and the goals that I started to score then was significant because immediately the language was coming, the goals started flowing from there.
Because your teammates probably can understand you. You cannot communicate. You cannot communicate with them on the pitch. Okay.
Exactly.
97, 98 was, I don't know how to put it for you. Good for you playing for Stuttgart. And then you played about five of the six of the national team games and you didn't go to the World Cup. Place side by side. Let's start from there. Which do you want to take first? The national team side or the Stuttgart side?
Oh, well, we can talk about the national team. We
Okay.
can talk about the national team.
All right. Okay.
You see, usually the national team was a significant part for me also, even though
Yeah.
I could not really get I could not really get enough games to play for Nigeria as I would want to play for Nigeria.
Go on.
Everybody, the question always everybody would ask me would be, why did you not go to the '98 World Cup? It's it's a pretty big question, because I have to, at this time, I have to protect some people who were very close to me, and they are still into football in Nigeria. But I would want to tell everybody in Nigeria that, look, it was not due to performance. A lot of people that went to that World Cup, I can actually dare say that, most of the World Cups that Nigeria has actually they've attended, we have not gone with our best team, and it is the same till today. This today now, we did not go with our best team at the World Cup in '98, because there were some people that were injured, some people were too old. Nigeria still carries that that thing that they say, okay, he played well 2 years ago, he can go today. As a footballer, and as a professional footballer, you are as good as your last game. If you don't perform yesterday, you cannot make the team today. That is how it's done in Europe. The Europeans and the Brazilians, at one time, the Brazilians were dominating world football. But immediately the Europeans figured out the organization on the field of play. Brazil had to learn, because if they did not learn, they would not be where they are today, because the Europeans actually mastered this thing we call tactics, and it actually proves everything, skill, everything. If you don't
Hello,
have
Johnny.
practice, nothing
Hello,
works. Yes.
Johnny. We want to go on a break. I want to keep you there. I want to keep you. When we come back on break, I just take one or two questions to round this up. Let's go on a short break. We'll back with you. We'll go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll go back to Germany and resume the discussion with Jonathan Akpoborie. Okay, you're welcome back. It is a Channel Sport on Sunday, and then we are not wasting time. Let's go straight back to Germany, where we have Jonathan Akpoborie to continue with this interview. Joe, you were telling us about the national team, the best players not going. You're missing out at France '98. There was a controversy when you guys went to Kenya to play. I think that match ended 1-1. And people were saying, was it you that scored the goal, or was it Uche Okechukwu who scored that equalizer? Who? Okay, Joe, I know who scored the goal. Can you tell us? Use your mouth to let us know.
No, the goal. Actually, that's one of the things that a striker has to. You have to read the game to see what is happening, and then you now take advantage of it. Uche and Taribo, they are really big, and when they run for the ball, for a corner kick, everybody, the crowd goes with them. I was in the crowd with them, and when they were going to jump, I just took 2 steps behind, and because I knew that the ball would drop behind them. And when they went for the ball, they were just pushing each other, everybody hitting themselves. And I was the smallest among them, but I was the one that actually headed the ball, after everybody missed the ball. So it would have been, I think from the camera angle, it would have been very difficult for anybody to see. But unfortunately, after I scored that goal, I was substituted. I think immediately after the second half started, the whole team was actually complaining to the coach that why would you take out a goal scorer, somebody who has scored a goal for them in the game. We were really surprised that I was substituted in the game, but then again, it was very important for us, the draw, and it put us right back into contention to qualify for that year's World Cup.
Okay, can you remember vividly how many matches did Ahmad Shuaibu took you guys during that qualifiers?
I don't think I can remember, but I think that game against Kenya should be. I think it was the last game that he handled us before they brought in Philippe Troussé.
Touché. All right. Okay. Yes. So let's calm me down. You were a bit disappointed, I know, for not by not going to France '98, where you were totally disappointed.
Um, a little bit of both, because going to the World Cup is actually a dream for every player, but you can't really force it. As a player, I was actually coming out of a very, very difficult season. We were on the road the whole time. We were fourth in the league, in the Bundesliga. We played up till the semi-final in the German Cup, losing to Bayern Munich. Um, and then played up till the final of the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup in that year. So it was a very, very busy season for us. So going to the World Cup was actually a bonus, where I really wanted to show Nigerians that, look, this guy is here. It's finally a tournament at the senior level. Let me actually show Nigerians what I do in Europe, because at that time the Bundesliga was not really being shown live in Nigeria. Even the Premiership was not regular. No football in Europe was regular at that time. So I wanted to show Nigerians at that tournament, but unfortunately, I didn't make the team. So before the team was actually going on preparation, I was already on holiday. If I want to sum it up, it would be a little bit arrogant of myself to say, okay, Nigeria actually lost out. The team actually lost out in what I could give the team, because I could have given them a lot at that World Cup.
World Cup. All right. I don't know that is arrogance. You are saying, okay, you had a lot, you have something to give, and probably you're not given an opportunity to give to give it out. Okay.
Exactly.
We have a lot of young strikers coming up. One of them, shining role, is Victor Osimhen. Have you watched him? Do you see him as somebody who can move up there? And then, any advice for him? Have you watched his play?
Oh yes, I saw him first. I went to see him live at Wolfsburg. He was at my former team at Wolfsburg, so I went to see him live, and I spoke to him also. I think he's a level-headed kid. He has done really, really well after he left Wolfsburg. That tells you why the German teams don't really get what they work for, because they've actually worked very well for Osimhen, but they released him a little bit too early. He went to Belgium, proved himself very, very worthy, and at in France now, he has done exceptionally very well, and I think he has a promising future for the Super Eagles for Nigeria.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, you played for Julius Berger, even if, as I don't know, you didn't play. You are most of an academy coming up. Did you play under? Was it Joe Rico who was your coach at Julius Berger?
Was It was always Jericho, yes.
It was only Joe Rico, and then he taught a lot
Yes.
of those Jogo Bonito things you learned from him.
Oh yes, yes,
Okay,
yes. With Joe Enrico, you had a coach who actually knew exactly what was happening in Europe at that time. So by the time I came to Europe, there was nothing new. It was the same.
there was nothing new. You graduated from the school of
Yeah,
Erico, so you can go
exactly.
over there and do it. Okay, finally your thoughts on our league here. The MPFL is suspended. You follow it because most of why in Lagos you follow it happening. I mean, what your thoughts on it?
Um, I want to. I think I've discussed this with a couple of people, and the serious part of it is that this virus that has affected the whole world actually does exist. It is real, and my views are like this: if we can stop our league for something less important. I'm talking about the season that the team in Boku was awarded the championship without
Yeah,
completing the league.
league. Yeah.
If we can actually stop the league for something less important as our our health now, when we are saying the COVID-19, it is real. If we can stop the league then for that, I don't think we should actually go into risking everybody's lives, because our health system is a suspect. We are not, this is real life. We should not joke about it. If we can stop the league then, I think we can stop it now and actually realign the league with the European League when they start again and plan for it very, very well.
Okay.
That's my view.
That's your view. And then just for 60 seconds, your soulmate from the same jungle city, Igalo, is at Manchester United. Do you talk with Igalo?
No, unfortunately not. I would really love to because he's doing wonderful things.
I think we are going to do that soon. All right, on this note, what was the thank you for being part of this show. When you come back, we know we'll keep on getting back to you on and bring you to the studio and you'll be part of the team. Thank you very much, Johnny.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay, while we were talking with Johnny, Jimmy strolled into the studio.
Yeah. What's striking has got to be the smiles on the two faces.
Okay.
You know you are synonymous with smiling. So, having Jonathan on the other side, smile that much, reliving some of the memories. He's got great things to say, and I think as a school sports prodigy, it says a lot about where we are supposed to be headed. We've seen a lot of these school sports prodigies not doing so well at the end of the day, but we see Jonathan Akpoborie is made a success of, that brand. He branded himself so much, he got into entertainment, he branded himself so much, you can see when he articulates himself, you just know that this is someone very, very sound. And going into the future, we just want to encourage more and more athletes to get educated.
All right. The final part I asked him has to do with Igalo, so let me just throw that to you. There is quest now that the guy is playing well, he's going to play at least 1 year at Manchester United from January to January, playing at the top level. He retired as the top scorer for our qualifiers. He retired at the top runner at AFCON. I mean, do we still have room for Igalo at the national team?
Number one, it's Igalo's decision to make, really. And I think at his age, at 30,
if I were at Manchester United.
I am not disputing that.
Yes.
Now add the national team schedule again to it.
Yes.
Can he cope?
That's what I'm asking.
Will he be able to? That's why I said it's his decision to make. Igalo will surely be a good addition to the Super Eagles.
Okay.
Any day, as we speak now.
All right.
But what I'm saying for him, because we want him to perform at that top level where he is, and I'm saying if I were Igalo, I will concentrate on my club career.
Give me your thoughts.
I think I would agree on that basis, on the basis that yes, he's of advanced age, whether you like it or not. I would agree that he just concentrates on his club career, but you also have to balance it. What exactly does he have to offer? He has a lot to offer, because when you recall what he did in at the World Cup in 2018, he had a very torrid one. He came back. The qualifiers, the competition proper in AFCON, it was imperious, scoring 5 goals ahead of the best on the continent. And you just look at it and say, maybe Igalo has much more to offer at this point in time, because we always want our players to play in the best club. So it's a big advertisement for domestic football.
Yeah.
Don't forget, he played also at Berger.
Yeah.
He played at Julius Berger, a club where Jonathan Akpoborie did play. You talk about
and he's also from Ajegule, like Ken.
Also from, you have to bring that in. So I think also we need to consider the fact that the likes of Osimhen, their confidence levels will probably be eroded if they're not doing as well as Igalo does at that age. So it's a factor, whether we like it or not. Because, those guys are doing quite well. Igalo comes back. You recall the 87th.
How many matches have they played since Igalo left? I don't think. How many matches?
Maybe 5 or thereabouts.
I don't think so. I mean,
it's not up to
it's not up to. I mean, since the end of the AFCON, how many matches have they played?
Yeah.
They've not played up to 2 or 3 matches.
It's not up to that.
It's not up
but
to
really,
2 or 3 matches.
Osimhen is living up to.
Is it? To me, the way I see it, I mean, if Igalo is 32, 31, 32, 33, whatever Igalo is, we're talking about 38. We're talking about the 38-year-old Ronaldo, and he can stroll into any team in the world. We're talking about Lionel Messi that is up. We're talking about a lot of Zlatan. So
Igalo is not Ronaldo.
No, my position.
There's also a factor here.
He's the best striker in Africa now at the moment.
At the moment.
Yes. So it's not as if he's a struggling striker. So
But
that is
playing for the national team is a different ball game.
It is the national team that he's the top striker.
Absolutely. And that's why I said he should not rush into making any decision.
It is his decision. I agree with you. But to me, he's living where the ovation is highest, is at the top. So it's not that we're managing him or whatever it is. And he's training with the better players now, better facilities. And
anyway, I'm happy that Nigerians are actually calling for him to return now. You recall that the same Yalo at the World Cup, like Jimmy said, they were calling for his head. But now, yes, he's at Manchester United.
He showed strength of character.
Absolutely.
By coming back in 2019. Yeah. He's still there at the top of his game in 2020. We just hope he continues in that streak.
And they're offering him £400,000. Some people need that one. Some people need that one for a year.
Yeah.
Some people get that for a lifetime, and then they're comfortable. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back. Let's come back and like we said at the beginning of the show, boss Mustafa, the man said, look, we are giving, in the next 1 month, we are going to make a pronouncement. You understand? We're also going to open, after this, we'll open the lines to join the show. Do you want Igalo to come back to the national team, or do you believe that he should stay retired? But let's hear him from the Secretary of the Government say what he is saying about when sports may resume.
Sporting activities, channels did ask whether sporting activities can resume. Well, like the Premier League and the rest, I'm not sure we are excited about opening up for sporting activities, knowing fully well that sporting activities in our country, particularly the game of soccer, attracts large crowd. If our guideline says that large gatherings are banned except, not to exceed 20 people except for places of work, I don't see the excitement that will be achieved if we allow sporting activities, particularly soccer like the Premier League, to resume in an empty stadium. A lot of the European countries where these games are big businesses have started looking at the prospect of returning to the pitches. But they are doing it in a deliberate and a very, very slow-paced manner. And most countries are saying that when they finally resume, it will be teams playing in empty stadia or stadium. We will get there too. But for now, we are concerned with the few activities that we have allowed to resume. And we've given ourselves 1 month within which to do a thorough assessment and see how we fare.
Okay, so we've given ourselves 1 month to do a thorough assessment. So they will assess it within that 1 month and see if it is possible for us to come back. And continuing that line, the committee that was set up by the Sport Ministry did the job. I mean, they came back this was impromptu. I think they were 19th of last month or so that they were set up. And right now, the report is ready. They said, look, they're recommending. I think it was an all-inclusive committee that has both sportsmen and the medical people and everybody. And they said, we are saying sport can go on between October. The National Sport Fest can come back, hosted in the same venue at the same state, Edo State, between October 25th and November the 4th. You know, last week here, like we said, we're trying to make a case for canoeing. We interviewed the president, Rear Admiral Festus Pobeni, the president of Rowing, Sailing and Canoeing Federation, and he said, I know this thing was dropped. 19 states have qualified for it. A lot of athletes want to go there. Why, are they dropping it? But the LOC said, look, the federation promised to do certain things and they did not meet up. So he said, give me 7 days and those things I promise, I could make it happen. But then let us take a look at our medals table at the last All-Africa Games and see canoeing contribution to the 46 gold medals that Nigeria had. And then, because my guys are in the house. Over there, we got 46 gold medals. And 4 of those gold came from canoeing. And somebody said, in Nigeria, a lot of riverine areas. Okay, this is how this is.
The 2019 African Games.
Yeah, weightlifting.
Okay, weightlifting, we recorded 16 gold medals, 13 silver medals, 18 bronze medals. Athletics, 10 for the gold medals won, 7 silver medals won, 6 for the bronze medals won. Wrestling, it was 7-4-1, 7 gold medals, 4 silver medals, 1 single bronze medal. Canoeing, we got 4 gold medals and no silver, no bronze. Table tennis, we had 2 gold medals and in the 2 other ones, 4 for silver and bronze
So of
medals,
the 13 sport that gave us medals, canoeing is at number 4. You understand? And at the Olympics, we made to understand that there are 16 events. Because even at All Africa Games, it was Ayomide Emmanuel who got those 4 gold medals, 2 individual gold medals, and there are gold medal that she collected with goodness. So if we can harness.
So this is where we talk about comparative advantage.
Yeah.
So, and if you look at it, we focus more on football. Football is just going to give you just 1 medal.
Yeah.
We focus on some other sports that will not give us as many. So, if canoeing as a federation has given us 4 gold medals, gave us 4 gold medals in the last All African Games in 2019, and the 4 gold medals coming from Ayomide Emmanuel in 2 individual events and 2. Canoeing, the skills required is natural to us in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Canoes are made even here, and we have athletes. We can train them to actually even learn these art, ways of going about it. And what are we talking about? So the National Sports Festival, which is supposed to be our Olympics, I don't see any reason why canoeing should not be a part of it. Because really, 16 events at the Olympics. If we're able to participate in just 10 of those, and we get bronze medals for a start,
it will be like 2012.
We won't be talking of 0, 0, 0.
0, 0, 0.
At the National Sports Festival, normally we should have 1,117 medals being allotted for the different winners. And if you consider the fact that for canoeing, we have 144, that's 40 gold medals, 144.
That is over 10% of the gold medals.
And that's exactly what you want to take away from the National Sports Festival. I think that that's not the way to go, really. And I think that with this kind of advocacy, because at times, you just look at it, the organizers are thinking, okay, canoeing, get this thing done, and listening to the Rear Admiral, the retired Rear Admiral, it was, it was being strategic. He laid out all they had done from the kayak lane that they had at Jabi Lake, and Abuja, all the plans that the Federation had been having, what they had done with the youths. They went to Argentina, they were ranked 7th and 8th. I mean, those are the things that we need to look at when we're talking about comparative advantage. Look at it, I said 144, athletics has got 132. So when you have this kind of information, when you have this kind of data, then that should trigger action from the ministry to say canoeing should be included in the sports festival.
Absolutely.
They've got enough time between now and then to put these things. And October.
But the October date is even tentative anyway.
Exactly. So, I mean, we feel that canoeing should be included in the national sports festival.
Okay. We can take your calls if a director say we're ready to do that. You can join the conversation. Should Ialo come back? You have Jonathan, what he's talking about, the national team setup, the coaches that influenced him, who are, naturally Christian Chukwu, Joseph Eriko. He said what Eriko taught him the moment he left Nigeria and went to Europe, he just, transited seamlessly.
Because Eriko was in tune with what was happening in Europe.
So those are things that we are saying that, when you are prepared well, you don't go over there and start saying, why can't I do this?
And Ken, just to react to Boss Mustafa on having to wait for another month for sports to resume. I think it was the presidential task force on COVID-19, they were spot on. Because if you look at it, people will say, football is starting in other climes, England, Germany, Italy, Germany. But in those places, these are businesses. And with data that you can see that, if they don't start, they're losing revenue, their contractual obligations. I'm not saying those things don't exist here, but let those clubs, let the MPFL, let them show us figures. Let them show figures. Let them show figures.
Show me one Nigerian professional football club that at the end of the season has brought their balance sheet
to let us know
this is our income, this is our expense.
I also think we need to balance.
We made a loss. We made
profit.
Manchester United made a loss. You will hear. Arsenal made a profit.
For the league to restart, they will still have to approach those governors to bring money. And let me see that club owner who will go and approach any governor to say, come and add more money. Yes, I understand that. Yes, this is livelihood for a lot of people. Yes, we want the league, but we need it to be done in the right manner. And this, like Akpoborie said, this gives us, as in a good time. Let's end the league now, as it is. Align it to the European calendar. Do all that is necessary to be done. Not a league where an ambulance will not start. I will lose a player to such anomaly.
I think that the ambulance. Before any match started, I think they've said.
I think we should be careful.
The ambulance.
I think we should be saying it, but who enforces those rules? And that's what we're talking about.
I think we should be careful about balancing.
Let's do it right.
No, I understand how you mean. I understand how you mean. But at the end of the day, I think there should be a balancing act in all of this. There are team sports, there are individual sports.
Yeah.
There are contact sports, there are non-contact sports.
Non-contact sports.
There are also sports that leverage off governmental funding and also private funding. So
we're always on the line. Olafe, how are you?
Hey, fine. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you today.
Okay.
And especially the Jonathan Akpoborie.
Yeah.
This guy is very, very fantastic.
Okay.
Oh, fine. Thank God.
All right. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I like to. You kept it simple.
So what I was trying to say basically is, let's be careful not to lump those that leverage off governmental funding.
We are going on a break. All right, we're going on a short break. I want to come back. We'll move into the final stanza. It is a Channel Sport on Sunday. Go nowhere. Okay. You're welcome back. One more win. And then German Bundesliga will remain where it has always been. But you're welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ken. It's nice having me.
They say if one team is winning in the league, it's always boring. Is it boring?
No. Because what needs to happen is the other teams need to have their games. No, take, for instance, while Rafa Benitez was with Valencia.
Yes.
He broke the duopoly of Barcelona and Real Madrid. So it can't be boring. He needs to step up.
Twice, right?
He won it twice.
Yes.
He won the UEFA Cup and before he left. So it can never be boring. The only thing is you need to step up your own game.
Benitez is a very good coach.
He is.
Are you?
He is. He is.
You know, but there is that it's himself and
Fergie Jinx.
No.
You say Mourinho.
They seem to be going to almost the same
you know, there was a time the wife said the husband always goes to where Mourinho has destroyed to clean up the mess. Then Mourinho's response to her was, and that time he was getting bigger, that I should take care of the physical anatomy of his husband.
Okay, so but let us be result of the Bundesliga because Bayern they are stepping away. They are one win away from retaining their trophy. I don't know, back to back. Sometimes you lose count when they keep winning. It is the team that is not winning. I say when one team is which is boring. If Nigeria is winning the AFCON every year, nobody will say it is boring. But when somebody is just easy. Okay, let's take our next caller. Hello, Peter. Hello, Peter. Okay. From Wani, and they say Wani they carry last. What is happening to you, Peter? Try call again so that we'll hear from you. Okay, let's go to let us go to let's get the Bundesliga result if we have it. So that on the table and let us know what it is because it is like they are getting unassailable.
Cologne were defeated at home 1-2 by Union Berlin.
Yeah.
Fortuna Düsseldorf also lost at home to
Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah. Hertha Berlin also lost at home to Eintracht Frankfurt. And Paderborn.
In fact, they're all four away. All four away wins.
Exactly. Paderborn lost at home also to Werder Bremen 1-5.
Yeah.
Paderborn
Okay, let us look and see one or two. Okay.
Wolfsburg played out a 2-2 draw with
and a home
Freiburg.
win.
Bayern.
Mönchengladbach.
Bayern.
Okay. So let us see the table. Let's see this table. Let's see, because with they have 18 teams there.
Yeah.
They are going to play 34 matches. They've just played 31 matches. So all they need is the table is not available. So let's see. Let's see the result for. Let us go to La Liga if we have the result, because Barcelona came back. They came back from where they stopped. We're playing Real Mallorca. Okay. All right. Let's take the next caller. We have a caller on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, James. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
You guys are really doing a great thing over there.
Thank
so
you.
I just want to know, is football, is it a business in Nigeria or no?
It is a business. It is I think the problem is not thriving yet.
The reason why I'm saying it, there are some league matches I'm watching from Nigeria. The population in the stadium is not equal to 100. I can remember, I'm 52 years old. I remember when I was in Benin watching Bender Insurance. When the match is starting at 2 o'clock, the stadium is filled to the brim.
Yeah.
A stadium that carries up to about 60,000 capacity is filled to the brim. But today, I don't really know. We see 50 people in the stadium. I don't know how does our league come to that extent that we don't even have, there's no value for it.
Okay, go on, James. I agree with you, because then at Ogbe Stadium, if insurance is coming in, if you don't get there by 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you won't enter. If shooting stars are coming to play, the same thing you are going to have at Ogbe Stadium. So I can testify, because I've watched those matches live at that particular area when you watched it too, as at that time.
Because
hello, James. Yeah.
When I was in Benin, any temperature is playing against Rangers, against Shooting Stars, against Leventis United, against Abiola Babes, Rakaro of Kanu, even SCB of Lagos during those days, you will see the stadium fit to the game. There was a match I watched in Benin between Bede Insurance and this club from Cameroon, Kano Sportif.
Kano Sportif,
I entered stadium at about 12 o'clock. When match started 4 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, the stadium was filled to the game. At 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
I think it was not Tone that they beat to win the CAF Cup. Was it Tone? I think it was Tone.
Please, we have to do something. Football is this. There's a lot of money.
Yeah, thank you, James. I understand. Calling from London, where you have all those big clubs, you can see all the money they are making. They make so much money. Thank you, James. Thank you very much. I think we abandoned everything to government.
I think, but
the
again,
government that owns the club, and we are not doing mobilization.
Yes, I think the key thing is because it's not all venue, as he was saying. You go to some stadium, you go to Enugu, you go to even in when we had the lockdown, the Corona Cup that was playing in Kano, you saw the crowd. So it has to do with mobilization, and I think maybe was referring to what Boss Mustafa said. What Boss Mustafa said was, sport is not a big business in Nigeria, which of course nobody can dispute that. So the way he has said it, it is a business, but is it a profitable business? The answer,
but I think I was saying something before the break. I said let's be careful not to lump it all up together. Like there's governmental funding, there are some that are actually not leveraging off governmental funding. Let's look at it. They are private. They're even
MFM. Which one again?
Ken, they are even competition organizers. I'm not talking about just football. I'm talking about sports generally.
Okay, let's take the Bundesliga results. If we have them, let us take it so that the discussion can continue on that particular guide.
La Liga.
Do we have those results yet?
La Liga.
The La Liga results. La Liga results.
Espanyol defeated Deportivo Alaves 2-0. Celta Vigo lost at home to Villarreal 1-0. Leganes lost to Valladolid 1-2 at home. Mallorca lost to Barcelona 4-0. You have Messi scoring his 20th goal for his 12th straight season.
12th straight season. Today now,
Athletic Bilbao will be playing against Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid will be playing host to Eibar. Real Sociedad will be hosting Osasuna. Sevilla will be away at Levante. Real Betis will be hosting Granada.
Okay. So those are the matches that are there, and then this is okay. We have the bottom three.
What excites me
Mallorca,
here,
Leganes, and
Ken,
Espanyol,
we
and then
have
the top
this
four.
central defensive pair
Yeah.
of Awazem and Omeru. They actually did lose yesterday, but you know it's exciting to see.
I watched that match.
It's exciting to see two Nigerian players, you know, strutting that stuff
After,
right there
after
at the La
that
Liga.
goal that was that they conceded, I think I was there. I now saw that the guy became a Trojan in that particular defense. He played marvelously well yesterday. I watched that match and I was happy.
Yeah. So
I was happy.
You are always happy when you have our Nigerian players do quite well. You know, whether they play in Europe, whether they play right here on the African continent. So it's important for our players to do that stuff right there.
In Italy, the final Coppa Italia will be between
unfortunately
Napoli.
The two Milan side are out.
Okay, that's a fact. The two Milan side are out. I didn't even situate it that way.
So you have Juventus scoring against
Napoli.
And Sarri, who is now the Judas Iscariot because he left his home side team of Napoli for Juve. So he will take his new team against his
All right, we have another caller on the line. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm calling from Warri.
You're calling from Warri? Is it Peter?
Yes, my name is
Peter, you called back.
I grew up with Jonathan Akpoborie from Adibule.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, so I appreciate you two bringing my old friend back to the screen to see him again. See his face.
And you were excited seeing Jonathan. Okay.
Yes. No. Then when he was playing football with Adibule at
Julius Berger.
This called Malu.
Malu Road. Yeah.
This Nature's Cup, then 80s.
Okay. Did you also play the Nations Cup, the Mock Nations Cup? Did you play?
Yeah, so then I played the Nations Cup then.
You played there, okay.
Yes, I played the Nations Cup.
Okay. Which country do you represent? Is it Ethiopia or Nigeria?
56 years now.
Wow. Okay.
I represent Nigeria.
You represented Nigeria. Okay. All right, Peter. How is Warri now? How is Warri?
Warri is fine.
Okay. Is it raining? Is it raining?
Warri is calm. Everywhere is calm.
Everywhere is calm.
It's raining here. It's raining.
It's raining. Okay, heavily. This is.
Here I am in Forcados. It's raining.
Okay, you are in Forcados actually. Okay. That means you are inside the sea now. You are in the sea. Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Thank you for calling. We appreciate you. And we'll bring you. We are going to bring Jonathan a lot this time, so you'll be able to talk with him probably when it's on the set with us. Okay.
So back to what Boss Mustafa was saying, and I think I agree with what he said. But if care is not taken, we'll lump those are leveraging of governmental funding with those that are competition organizers. They are private people. They also want to get their sports back. They are non-contact sports. They are contact sports. We should find a strategic way of easing this. I think it's traumatic for a lot of these sports practitioners. Traumatic for athletes. Go and check when it was announced that the National Sports Festival was going to, come through by October. A lot of athletes, they became euphoric about it. So it tells a lot about what exactly we want to see. We want to see our sports back, but also all sports federations, as much as possible, should find ways to strategically align their calendars and align whatever they need to do to get sports working well.
All right. Okay. England, they've not started, but let us go through so you can see when your team is playing. We know that there are those that have outstanding matches. We have just played one match. That is the thing. On the 17th, you will see those two matches. That is on the 71st too. That is Aston Villa taking on Sheffield United.
Manchester City
and City taking on Arsenal.
Against Arsenal.
Okay, that's on the 7th. On the 19th.
Yeah, Norwich City versus Southampton.
Yeah.
Tottenham Hotspur
we're taking on Manchester United. And then the next thing moves on the 20th. And then that is
Watford versus Leicester City. Brighton versus Arsenal. West Ham United versus Wolverhampton. Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace.
And these matches we played behind closed doors. There won't be fans.
With all necessary protocols put in place.
Yeah, but at least you can watch them.
You can watch which just oppose that with our MPFL. If you play behind closed door, can you watch it? No.
Okay. Okay, Sediok, hello. Okay, we lost the call, all right. Okay, so that is how it's standing. So,
yeah, 25 points gap between Liverpool and Manchester
Liverpool
City.
need 2 matches to win
to
that.
win, exactly.
But
Manchester City, there is a 4-point gap between Manchester City and Leicester City. And Chelsea, those are the top 4. Liverpool, Manchester City, Leicester.
But you know, City, they are going, they are banned. They have appealed. They are banned.
Exactly.
By the middle, by the in a few weeks' time
we'll
we should be able to know if that ban has been upheld or if it has been lifted. So that will also make for teams in 5-6 to see how they will struggle to be in the top 4. So basically, that's what we are saying. Most people in Nigeria support these teams, and then, like you said, year in, year out, we're able to know how much they are making. I think I can say this for Kano Pillars.
Yeah.
I can say this for
how much they make.
Sunshine Stars.
Okay, attendance.
They were giving us attendance record.
Yeah.
They start with the attendance. You don't shroud everything in secrecy. You don't know how many persons that watch the match. How can you? I mean, at a point, I think LMC, to be fair to them, they said, look, we want to see team. We will give you bonuses. We'll give you some money if
Ken, financial fair play rule was as a function of having financials of teams. So if you don't have your financials, I don't understand why you should even start the new season without even submitting your financials. Because you don't want a situation where you have what they had in Colombia, then narcotic funding. By the time Clinton administration placed some of those guys on that list, on that they blacklist them, 18 teams out of a 20-team league file for bankruptcy. So we don't want a situation we just wake up and all the teams in Nigeria will be out of
before a new league should get restarted. We need to put control measures in place. Medical, infrastructure, players' welfare. You know, all of these things, if you don't put them together, we are still going to come back here and ask what exactly happened. There are not enough security personnel in the stadium. What happened? The ambulance is missing. So at the end of the day, I think if we put these measures in place, we'll do very well.
You had put the necessary things in place. Accountability, like you said, he's talking about transparency. Don't let the money come from where you cannot assert, where you cannot openly say, this is where I got it. No, we know it is being funded by budget, but let us see how. Tell us how many persons watch your stadium, will enter there. I am Ken Ochonogo. Have a blessed Sunday.